One-sentence summary. Before the Mortal Kombat tournament starts, Shang Tsung tries to have Earth's champions killed because he's a cheating bastard. Could you beat the villain? Shang Tsung has a bunch of magical warriors on his side, and it strikes me as odd that in this film that takes place largely in America, only one person tries to shoot one of their attackers. You're telling me that Sub-Zero is going to do very well against a flamethrower? Because he's not. And Goro, he's got multiple arms, he's very, very strong, he's very, very tall. Doesn't mean that he's immune to shotguns to the face. How would you improve this film? So Sub-Zero needs to make sure that people are actually dead before he walks away from them. Because twice in this film he fails to kill a person completely and they come back. Granted, you know, Scorpion, he did detour via hell where he learned English for some reason. Strange. There was also kind of confusion in my head as to why Sub-Zero was killing Scorpion's family, because they clearly didn't have beef, because they didn't even speak the same language, so they didn't seem to know each other. So maybe it was because he was trying to get in with Shang Tsung and, you know, join the Netherrealm Warriors or something along those lines. I'm not really sure, but, you know. You get special powers, kind of like X-Men, but different. They're the finishing moves in the games, I think. Anyway, Jax, his superpower is that he's got like super advanced robot arms. And my question is, would his superpower have been super advanced robot arms if he hadn't already lost his organic arms and had some crappy prosthetic arms applied? Maybe he would have just got super magical organic arms. I'm not really sure. Anywho, Kano says to Sonya Blade, because the names in this are amazing, did you think he'd changed to me because he's Australian? No, there is no indication that you'd been changed, and in fact everyone, you know, has been calling you a twat to your face for the entire film. So if anyone was going to portray the group, it was going to be you, because you're not a nice man, but you've also been bullied by the group, so you're not willing to help them out. The Earth has lost 9 Mortal Kombat tournaments in a row, and if they lose the 10th one, for some reason that means the Netherrealm can take over. Number one, why would you want to take over? Obviously Earth is full of losers. Number two, you've lost 9 in a row, like losing 10 in a row is basically the same thing. Why bother? Number three, the reason they've lost so many in a row is because Raiden, the Light he sucks at being a mentor. He's known the tournament is coming for how long before trying to assemble the team of warriors to get them to train. And also, Cole, the main character, he's got the Mortal Kombat mark, and it's passed down from his ancestors, one of whom was Scorpion, who we saw at the beginning in like several hundred years ago. So has Raiden never even tried to recruit one of Cole's ancestors before? Because surely if they were in the Mortal Kombat tournament and they died, Cole wouldn't have the mark because they would have been lost in the bloodline. But if they did win, what would be the problem? Because, you know, Earth hasn't lost 9 in a row or something now. But yeah, anyway, it doesn't make any sense. On a more realistic note, Sonya, Kano and Cole walk through the desert with apparently no protection from the sun or supplies, which is very, very foolish. I hate the sun. I don't know if I've mentioned that ever before.
Listen to me. I despise.
So hot, I hate it. Need to get out of the sun. I'm so dehydrated. So hot. So hot. I don't know if I mentioned it. It's so hot, I hate it. It's so hot, I'm going. Oh, so hot.
Costing me destruction of innocent life.
Cole comes up with a brilliant plan to help the team beat Sub-Zero, who's like the big old threat in this, really. And that brilliant plan is we'll just gang up on him and beat him up at the same time. That doesn't happen, so Sub-Zero lures Cole away, and Raiden, who it has been pointed out can teleport basically anyone, anywhere, decides, you know what, Cole's got this, he's going to be fine, he's going to take on Sub-Zero by himself, he doesn't need backup. And then Scorpion, Cole's long dead ancestor, comes back from, you know, the dead. But even then, Sub-Zero does pretty well, so if you flown in Jax and Sonya and whoever else is still alive at this point, I feel like they could have all just beaten him up at the same time. Sub-Zero would not have done very well there. But Kano, the Australian, that was terrible. Anyway, he's a loudmouth, so when he shouts Kano wins after killing someone, it makes sense. It's in character. Then Kung Lao says flawless when he kills someone, and it just makes him look like a twat, because, you know, he's supposed to be this kind of stoic, he's the best warrior kind of guy, but he's got the same loudmouth attitude as Kano, who's an idiot. Raiden refers to something or other as Hanzo's blade. Scorpion is Hanzo. Hanzo's blade, and assures Cole that if he fights with this thing, his ancestor will be with him. To me, that looked like it was more closely associated with Hanzo's wife, because it was one of her gardening tools. Now, I'm sure there's some backstory that, you know, he's given up his violent ways and she uses his stabby blade as like a small spade. But I think it would have been better if she came back, you know, to life, and she was just like, what the fuck's going on here? Why have you got my little trowel? Jax tells Cole to go to Gary, Indiana. Number one, pretty sure I heard that that's a pretty rough place. So.
Absolutely.
Number two, he says that within earshot of Sub-Zero, Sub-Zero doesn't freeze Jax's arms off and then go, well, I guess I'm going to Gary, Indiana to track down Cole now. That's why I was confused who she was. Anyway, she's like, do an uppercut, and he doesn't do an uppercut. Then at the end of the film, she's like, do an uppercut, and he does an uppercut. No, it's foolish, because Goro has just heard her say, do an uppercut, and then you do an uppercut. He knows it's coming. He's got many hands, he could have blocked it. Liu Kang says to Cole, how's your arm? Because Cole has got a bit of a cut on his arm, where his training has gone a bit badly. Jax, who has had both of his arms frozen off in actual combat, is in the room at the same time. Have some sensitivity. Jesus Christ. Anywho, rating out of 5 beers. Kano, pretty good. Liked him. Liked his vibe. Shame he died at the end. I think that was a Chekhov's God Unknown. Might have been a first for me. I don't believe there have been any of them before. But I don't remember seeing his body like turn to smoke and go to the Netherrealm. You know, I hope he's in the sequel. I don't necessarily want to watch a sequel, but if there is one, he deserves to be in it. Anywho, I would give this 3 out of 5.
Yeah. What is it good for? Absolutely. Nothing. Say it again, y'all.